Hello everyone. Welcome back to Dr. Lou's VCE Biological Channel. Today, let's learn together about the 2022 NHT Biology. We will focus on questions related to disease challenges and strategies. My explanations may need to be revised. If any teachers, parents, or classmates find errors, please feel free to provide your guidance. The keywords are herd immunity. Herd immunity is the indirect protection of populations from infection where that protection is created by the presence of immune individuals in the population and unvaccinated individuals receive the protection. Herd immunity protects those who are not immunized. Thus, one effect of herd immunity is that transmission of measles from person to person is unlikely. These vaccines express a glycoprotein from the Ebola virus. Thus, a person would produce antibodies to the Ebola glycoprotein after injection of the vaccine. Compare the antigens between normal cells and cancer cells. The receptor type 4 is expressed in cancer cells but not normal cells. Thus, this receptor type 4 is the target of a monoclonal antibody. TB is a disease resulting from an infection by Mycobacterium tuberculosis. It is transmitted between individuals when an infected person coughs, sneezes, or speaks. However, in most cases, the bacteria remain inactive in the body and only become active in approximately 10% of those infected. Select one of these groups and explain why people in this group are more vulnerable to infections such as TB. The keyword is vulnerable. The explanation must be consistent with the group selected. Group selected, individuals with HIV. Explanation, lack of T helper cells or inability to generate antibodies or adaptive response not fast enough. Group selected, immunocompromised cancer patients or patients receiving chemotherapy. Explanation, weakened immune system inability to generate antibodies or adaptive response not fast enough. Group selected, elderly. Explanation, weakened immune system inability to generate antibodies or adaptive response not fast enough. Group selected, newborn baby. Explanation, lack of fully developed immune system or inability to generate own antibodies or adaptive response. The keywords are antibiotics and antiviral. 1 mark is awarded. TB is caused by bacterial infection. Thus, antibiotics should be prescribed to TB patients. The first line of antibiotics are isoniazid, rifampicin, pyrazinamide, and ethambutol. Even if TB is inactive in the body, these antibiotics also kill TB. The screenshot is from NSW Health. The blue is the standard answer. 8 countries accounted for 67% of new TB cases. So, TB is restricted to specific regions or countries, not all of the world. Epidemics are restricted to specific regions or countries, while pandemics spread across international borders and affect multiple countries. TB should therefore be classified as a pandemic. The incidence of TB has globally decreased. The majority of growth in TB cases is restricted to specific countries. TB is appropriately classified as an epidemic. TB is decreasing by 2% per year. As there were 10 million people affected in 2020, the infection rate will not be zero by 2030. The effect of different antibiotics on 2 species of bacteria is investigated. The control variable is the nutrient agar plates. They must be identical between groups. The independent variable is the species of bacteria and chemicals in the filter paper disc. After the filter paper discs were pressed onto each nutrient agar plate, the plates were put into an incubator at 37 degrees Celsius and left overnight. Then, the diameter of each transparent area is measured. This diameter is a dependent variable. 2 antibiotics are tested. Distilled water is set as a control group. The size of the transparent area is measured. Draw and label an appropriate graph to illustrate the results obtained for both species of bacteria. The graph was to be a bar or point graph, not a line graph, as the data is discrete and not related. A suitable scale and key or suitable labels to identify the results should have been included. B. Sirius is resistant to the antibiotic sulfatriod. Sulfatriod is the most effective antibiotic for S. marcescens. Chloramphenicol is effective on both species. Chloramphenicol is more effective against B. sirius than S. marcescens. Sources of random error included different concentrations of antibiotics used to inaccurate measurement of diameter, disc not firmly touching agar, different spread of bacteria on the plates. In disease challenges and strategies, 3 multiple-choice questions are worth 3 marks, and 2 short-answer questions are worth 13. The overall score for this section is 16 marks. With a total possible score of 120 marks, the percentage for this section is 13.3% of the total score.
If you need my help, please add me on WeChat or WhatsApp, and send me an email. Thanks for your attention. Please note Dr. Lou's VCE Physics channel, Dr. Lou's VCE Chemistry channel, and Dr. Lou's VCE Biology channel.